just shy of 12 inches there. You can see it, just shy of 12 inches. Okay, and with the 11s, we are about 11 and a half. So we got about a ½ inch. All right, I want to do a video for our friends over at UMEI on the Moonwalk Wave Slip-In Clog. I had done a review on that recently, and with a size 11, and they were a little snug. So I have here a size 12, and we will do a quick size guide for the Moonwalk Wave Slip-In Clog for those interested in purchasing them. That way you've got a little knowledge on what size will be best for you. And this will not only help the viewer, but it will also give our friends at UMEI a little fewer returns on sizing, hopefully. So it will help everybody. So these are a fantastic model. I've had them for a couple weeks now. Fly out here. And I wear them every day. If they continue, oh cool, we got the brown one. If they continue to create fantastic models like these, I will soon become not just a foam shoe channel, but we will become a 3D shoe channel. Nice. So these are a really nice model. They're very comfortable. They just have a different experience underfoot. It's almost like a very, what's the best way? So foam tends to squish, but this 3D print, it has kind of this cradling structure effect to it, to where you're not just pushing into like a marshmallow, but you're being cradled by all of these layers of 3D printed material. And it's just it feels like a more delicate walking experience. Just that your feet are being treated a little nicer than with foam. Not that foam is like bad, but just 3D print has an extra level of delicacy to it in terms of the comfort. It just makes for a little nicer of an experience. So, but anyways, let's talk about the sizing, and we can dive straight in. So I did an hour review on these. If you're curious, if you want to get the full-length review on the Moonwalk Wave, it's actually about a 40-minute video, but at the end I have some bonus footage on all the other colors and stuff that I was gifted from my family. But anyways, I digress. So check out that full-length review if you want to really get a lot of info on these. So we'll try to keep this quick and concise. So I received the 11s in this gray color here. And my foot is 11.3 inches long, and these fit perfect. My foot fits in these like exact to a T. But I kind of like a little extra wiggle room personally, and some other people might like that as well. So we have a size up. We have the 12s here. And I can get some measurements, but I know that these are already feeling a little bit better. They're not so exact. So depending on how you like your UMEIs to fit, if you like a little wiggle room, a little more casual fit, then you might want to size up if you're on a half size. But if you like a little more of an exact, precise fit, you want them to fit like a glove. They're not snug. Like, I still wear these. I've been wearing these every day for the past 2 weeks. I have zero discomfort in them. I just like a little extra wiggle room in my footwear. But if you like your footwear to be very, like I said, fit like a glove, It's not tight, but it is like a glove. I've got maybe a 1/6 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch between my foot and the end, so it's not smashed by any means. It's just very precise. So I personally, I like a little more wiggle room. So we've got about a 1/4 of an inch, maybe a 1/3 of an inch at the big toe, but it fits pretty good, man. Like, I like this brown color too. I like these more natural colors. They're very nice. So if you, like I said, if you like a little more wiggle room with your footwear and you're on a half size, you might want to go up. We'll get some measurements real quick too. I was going to do that and I forgot. So on the 12s, from the big toe to the heel, we are at just shy of 12 inches there. You can see it, just shy of 12 inches. Okay, and with the 11s, we are about 11.5. So we got about a half inch. See if I go out there, it's 11.5. If I do the same over here, got just about a half inch, a little less than half inch size difference between the two. So it's typically how it goes with whole sizes, about a half inch gap between them. Alright, one last thing to add that I just noticed. I've been wearing these for a minute now, and I noticed one difference between the 11s and the 12s as far as the sizing goes is how far back the upper comes. So it was something that I didn't even really think about wearing the 11s because it didn't come back very far. It wasn't any bit of an issue. You can see how much space I have between my ankle bone and the 11s. There's like a good half inch there. Well, within that half inch gained, it also comes back on the top, just to keep in mind. So I imagine with this top netting being thin enough, it won't be an issue. But as I slide in, you can see how much further back that top comes. Let me get the ankle right. There we go. You can see it's kind of right there. Like it's right up at that ankle bone for me. So it probably won't be an issue. I'll spend a lot of time with these on foot and I'll see if it's a problem with the 12s for me personally, because I've got a very pronounced ankle bone right here. Let's see if I can zoom out a little bit. So if it becomes an issue, then I'll just go back to my 11s. See how much more space I have. So that's just something to be mindful of if you go up to the size up, that it comes back a little more on the top. So I don't know if that's something that needs to be refined at all, or if it's a non-issue. Like I said, with this netting being so thin, I can't imagine that it's going to give me any problems. But it's just a sensation that I noticed as I was walking around in these that I didn't experience in the size down. So I just wanted to add that information there. So, but yeah, these are still great though. Not necessarily a negative, but it's just a detail that I wanted to add. We're doing a little walking with Miss Bing Shilling here. It's a little rainy out, but it has stopped for the time being. It's a little damp. We're gonna go walk in our UMEIs in these new size 12 brown color, just to give them a little more time on foot and get a little more information on the sizing. Because when I was driving over to my mother's with these on foot, I'm noticing that my foot is just sliding forward in them. So like with the 11s, my toes were kind of right at the end, and I figured that they were just a little snug. Well, I'm finding that these are just a forward fitting footwear. So my feet are sliding forward in these 12s too. So the extra space then just ends up at the back, and it just ends up at the heel. So when I had my, when I was driving, I had my toes, I had my foot kind of on the forward end of the driving cockpit, you could say, and the top was kind of pulling back a little bit. So I guess my heel had slid back in the clog, and my toes were kind of like getting bent back, and the upper was then kind of pushing on top of my foot. I mean, it wasn't anything comfortable. So I had it back a little bit. Come here, Stella. And then this was kind of getting pushed back, and you see how that it then pushes the upper onto the foot. I think it was just on the gas pedal like that. So something to keep in mind. And I didn't have that experience with the 11s, not having that extra space and stuff. It wasn't, I never had the upper like pressed down onto the foot like that. So with all of that into consideration, I think you want these to fit like a glove. Because having any additional space in there is having like other effects on the wear, like that upper kind of pressing down onto the foot more if there's toe space, or just having your foot slide forward in it to where you don't have any toe space then, and it's just fitting like the 11s were, and all the extra space is at the heel. So all right, so that's just my 2 cents on the sizing. If you're in between sizes, I think you're better going with the smaller of the 2 sizes. So the only instance where I think you should size up is if you have really wide feet, because you do gain some extra width in the size up. But with the netting on the top of these being as flexible as they are, like you could probably still go true to size, and it would just flex to where it needs to with your feet. So I think that's what is happening with the 11s. Even though my toes are kind of right at the end, it's just a soft upper, and it just flexes with the toes. So like I mentioned before, I was never having any discomfort with the fitting or the sizing. I just like having a little extra toe space just from shoes. You know, you never want your shoes to fit super exact and precise like that. You usually want like a 1/2 inch of toe space. So I was just using the same logic with these mules, but I think you want these to fit like a glove. So you don't, the toe space isn't really necessary, because your foot's just going to slide forward in them anyways. Or you'll have the upper getting pressed back down on it with the toe kind of getting pushed forward and curling and stuff, just being so soft of a material, you know. Why are all the dogs going crazy? They're just barking back and forth apparently. But yeah, I mean, they're comfortable on foot. Like they're not sloppy, they're not sliding around or anything. They're kind of staying in place as I'm walking. But just those characteristics I wanted to share. We'll get a little more Stella footage. A little more Stella footage. Say hi to the camera, Stella. Say hi to the camera, Stella. You little wet dog. You little wet dog. Oh yeah, lastly, that upper is so soft, it's not being an issue with my ankle bone, how I showed it earlier, that it comes up a little higher on the size up. It's such a soft and malleable material that it's not giving me any discomfort on my ankle bone, even though it's coming back a little higher on the 12s, so it's a non-issue. But I just wanted to mention that too, because I made it a point of interest earlier. So yeah, these are still just as good. I just think the tighter fit is the better of the two, in my opinion. So, but they are good. I recommend these. I'm a big fan of these. I'm excited to see what models UMEI does in the future, now that they've got the footbed and the midsole a little more refined with their design. So yeah, all right, we will wrap this up. Thanks for watching. Say bye, Stella. No, I'm not. I refuse. All right, see you guys, thanks.